All right, people. It is 11:16 my time. Back home it'd be 12:16. It'd be the next day already. It's Friday for you guys. Hell yeah. Okay, so before I do my top 10 opening tracks from Deep Purple, um for the last 24 hours, there was a couple of albums I picked up the last time I went to Vintage Vinyl. I remember talking about finding a bunch of missing pieces for Chick Corea and some other stuff like that. But I have played, I'm going to say these next two albums at least 12 times in a row, just engaging with them. And I know you guys don't want to sit there for 20 minutes while I go through them in depth. So I'll keep it as, as succinct as possible. So first off is, and these were both blind buys. First off is the new album from Mitski. It's called "Nothing's Gonna Happen to Me." It's their eighth album on Dead Oceans. The label. Here's the full gatefold with the painting. Come on, the irony of just the cover painting and the name of the album cover is perfect alone, as is the inside. Very ornate, very lovely. Oops, almost sounded like Danhausen there for a second. The ironic bumper sticker, honk, if something's about to happen to me. Gotta love it. Okay, and our inner jacket with more drawings and every track who's on what. Also, I walked in, I spent $27. It's the yellow edition of the album. Apparently, the signed purple, light violet or lavender edition has a bonus track on it. I don't know. I didn't care. I literally walked into Vintage Vinyl for the first time in 3 years, and it was on the new release shelf. This was uh end of February or beginning of March. Right after I had my solid state job interview, which I'm still waiting on the results of. Yay. Yeah. Well, I should have done better with the lighting on this, but whatever. Who cares, right? It's almost midnight. Let's just have some fun with it. So, for this album, I have not listened to any Mitski albums whatsoever. I, I walked in, I saw the painting, the price tag, not too bad for a color wax. As my computer goes dim because it's down to 24%. Read the title of the album and just went, the hell is this? You got three songs on here. You got one, Cats, Dead Women, then there's That White Cat, uh, Where's My Phone? I'm looking at it, I'm going, what, what are we doing? What is this? And I picked up some quick reviews, and people said, oh, she's being a little more psychedelic and everything like that. And I thought, a psych album in 2026? I'm fucking down with that all day. Oh, yeah. So I threw it in my giant pile and proceeded to spend the next 2 hours struggling walking around with like 20 items. You know how it goes. You go record shopping for two or three things, and next thing you know, you're finding five missing pieces of your larger catalog saying, I never added that. Hey, this isn't a bad price. Well, this has been sitting here for 3 years. I guess it's mine. It was destined to be mine. I'm just gonna take it right now and you know, damn it all to the finances and the budget. I'm not working. Uh, but this album starts off in a lake, and you immediately get off to not so much you get a country vibe, but what you're granted with is somewhere between indie rock and country in the sense of um even even Britpop, like Pulp. There's a mixture of Judy Collins, 65 to 67, meets Leonard Cohen, 66 to 68. And her delivery isn't too far off from Judy Collins, Joni Mitchell. Uh, you know, I said Nicole Atkins, but damn, musically it gets to be very sparse and dim and muted that you almost feel like you're in Leonard Cohen territory and Joni Mitchell territory. And I like to remind people that the first song that Leonard Cohen wrote that was a hit was given to Judy Collins, Suzanne, and then he had his debut album in 67. So you're listening to something that when this album starts, it's very much in that pre 2017 Nicole Atkins, a little bit of country, a bit of indie rock, maybe a little bit of shoegaze. It's very interesting. We get to Where's My Phone with the confusion of missing things. Cats is the third song, is where it turns into much more personal. This is this is songs of Leonard Cohen. This is Songs for a Room, the second album. In other words, I said Suzanne, but If It Be Your Will, I Tried to Leave You. Um, was it Whirlwinds? It's from the perspective of someone whose significant other is talking about breaking up with them and the confusion and the pain of having to deal with that and try to accept that and still be nice. But the flip side, the mirror, is the next track. If I Leave, I tried to leave you again, Leonard Cohen. Now we're getting more into um like Death of a Ladies Man, Songs of Love and Hate, where it's extremely bitter. And now the character has changed from trying to work with the other person, and now it's saying like it's a back and forth dialogue. Just so much regret and fatalism to how things are going, and now it's getting. And then it upticks into that Brit pop indie rock slide from the '90s when her character breaks out in just vitriol and pain and anguish and anger. Um, yeah, it falls in the Dead Women, and despite the odd title names, Dead Women, if you're not paying attention, you could think of it as what she's lost and becoming after the way the last two songs have gone. But when you actually pay attention to the lyrics or read them, it's more of the loss of the uh, the singularity, the the personal aspects of just being a woman in culture, in not even the world, just in general, how other people kind of wish for your doom and want to see you fall so they can tell your narrative and what they wish for you to be, not who you really were, not your authenticity. And this carries into instead of here, where seemingly it's her character trying to just get away from the pain and be far away. There's things like I called to death and I didn't know I did. So that comes up. That's not even that song. That's coming a little later. You flip it over, I'll Change for You, which is what I read into it. She called, she wanted to write a pathetic song. Just giving up your autonomy. That's the word I've been chasing for the last 2 minutes. Your autonomy and existentialism for other people. Rules pretty much straightforward. This is how things are going to be. But again, we're diving into some folk, some more, pseudo country, a little bit of rock tones here and there. Again, it's still the overwhelming theme I've noticed from a vocal delivery, a lyrical standpoint, it keeps coming back as Leonard Cohen, Judy Collins, Joni Mitchell, Nicole Atkins, maybe a little Blondie too, for that matter. So that white cat giving up who you are to always take care of everyone else or make sure everyone else is satisfied before you are. Literally, it's about a cat invading the house and some other stuff. Not for real, but that's the perspective it's being told. Charon's a lot. I mean, we're getting into a story about a woman in a house who's died, and then the next person takes over and keeps feeding their dogs, and you pay the ferryman to allow for the next person, get the coins over the eyes, for them to go, Charon, to go over the river Styx and have peace, while managing everything else back home for them. So this goes into lightning, and lightning is thematically is the collapse after everything that has gone wrong, all the pain, the traumas being used, and recognizing that there's a rebirth. I know I said I was going to take too long because of how long it is, but I couldn't stop listening to this album. It really resonated strongly for my own. It, okay, even though it's based sometimes on just from a woman's perspective, that doesn't mean there aren't still your general aspects at play here. We all did and continue to suffer a lot of abuse, mental abuse, been backstabbed, hurt by others. So listening to it and drawing up the Leonard Cohen themes, the Nicole Atkins stuff, after a while, it was, at times I thought it was going to slip more into Neil Young's Harvest. Out on the weekend, man needs a maid. Where words between the lines of age, where lyrically and by the emotional tone and the delivery, you're half propped up, but at the same time, someone's cutting onions, if you get my drift, or someone's jabbing you in the side. It's such a strong album. In terms of random blind buys I've spent top dollar on, just as a goof. Sometimes just on the title, not standing in the store, pulling up Bandcamp or whatever to prop a song. That might be one of my better choices, and that came out about a month and a half ago. So yeah, that was Mitski. Nothing bad's gonna happen to me. Honk if something bad is about to happen to me. The other one came out in 2023, and I botched this name all the damn time. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce her real name because I'm probably gonna fuck that up too. Although I did see her on backing vocals and keys for King Diamond a couple of years ago, and judging by the new video that King Diamond is teasing, she's still there, and I guess going to be on the new album too. Myrkur or Myrkur. I told you I was going to butcher it. Oh god, this is Spine from 2023. This is I don't want to say comeback album, but Folkazong was 2020. So it was a couple of years. She had a son, and she goes from, for those of us who can remember the 2014 EP and the next two albums, those were very. She is very much the modern day version of Quorthon, where Bathory being the one man band, this is the one woman band. We're going to explore different territories in the subgenre. We're going to blend other elements that aren't normally allowed or okayed by all the pathetic, narrow-minded gatekeepers of the genre in of itself. Thank God for Quorthon, and I'm not even a God person, but at least he had fucking balls. You could argue so did Fenris and Nocturnal Culto for Dark Throne. Yeah, and later Nurgle from Behemoth, but Myrkur is more in the Bathory territory of expansion. Ooh, and Ulver, because the first three Ulver albums are total black metal, and after that they went pop, synth, uh, dance beats sometimes. Totally experimental and avant-garde. Kind of what this woman likes to do. Maybe not that far yet, but this was vintage vinyl. Wanted to go get it. This was in their overstock. This was the last copy. They had this marked down from $30 to $10 because they were just trying to get rid of it. This is the uh, breast cancer awareness pink edition, and I gotta tell you, looking at this as I now struggle to put it back in the damn sleeve. Oh God, this is the pitfalls of vinyl collecting. I tell you, it's not one thing. It's always something else that just fucks you over. I'm gonna get flagged and demonetized at this rate, but I don't give a shit. So, knowing when you compare the color of the vinyl after the birth of her son, the spine in question, because I stood staring at it for a second. Not exactly a normal looking spine, but looks like something else, doesn't it? I mean, that and the color of vinyl. We all love sinking the pink, right? It's all the fashion. Next thing you know, it's just you go from sinking the pink to I-I-O, shake your foundation, I-I-O, take it to the top. Okay, that's enough AC/DC 1985. Fly on the wall, sorry. Woo, flashbacks. But that's not even the intention, but I'll be damned if I can't find a way to read that in somehow. What? I'm a guy. We all do it. So, so this is after the total creepy, haunting folk album that she did, Folk Song. This is Spine here is more of the return, not so much in the sense of being elemental, folky black metal with the guttural and occasional banshee vocals she used to do. This is more of it. It takes on quite a bit. The folk elements are still there, but it takes on a lot more pop and synth elements. So again, she's morphing and stretching it into different territories than what most fans of the genre are okay with normally. Granted, after not being gatekeepers, we all listen to at least 5 other genres and have other interests besides black metal. But you start with Belfed, the Viking funeral, and it's kind of the cross between the folk that she was just doing and the early black metal stuff. So this is somewhere between, if we were going to put on the Bathory scale, I would put this more in the like Twilight of the Gods meets Blood on Ice and his completely left turn solo albums. You get what I'm saying? There's some, even if the songs are short, this is only 33 minutes, almost 34 minutes. It's still got that epic yet commercial feel to the delivery. Just a lot more instrumentation, some synths, attempts at pop. Yeah, and she pulls it off with the pop elements. I mean, like Humans, track 2 is so hooky and catchy that I thought it came off of something from like 1986. I'll be damned if I didn't think it was the beginning of uh, Like a Prayer from Madonna at times. What? We all saw the third Deadpool movie. Don't fucking judge me. You get into the moth like right after that, and here we are with the folk aspects, the ethereal vocals, quiet, kind of haunting a little bit, and then at the end you hear the little bit of the guttural growls in the back in the last 2 minutes. And I was like, here we go, here we go. It's very ceremonial, cult like. Uh, the next two tracks, "My Blood Is Gold" and the title track "Spine." The title track being about her son. Um, just the whole album is more based around her embracing motherhood, um, other fears of what's coming, and who is she, which has been part of all of her albums, anyways. But we're adding that other element to it. Uh, yeah, "My Blood Is Gold" and "Swine." Oh, and on the flip side, the penultimate track, second to last, you don't know, you know, broader English, "Devil in the Detail." Those three had some arrangement help from Billy Corgan. And I don't want to say I noticed it right off the bat, but with the way the guitar leads were coming, the way the synths were placed out, yeah, it once I read the inner sleeve, it connected some dots, because suddenly I was thinking, well, that makes sense, because this kind of like it could have came off of Sear, or "Oh So Shiny, Oh So Bright" Volume 1. Yeah, that came in nice and loud, didn't it? Whatever. As my damn phone goes off. Um, Spine's beautiful. "My Blood Is Gold" has got some heavy keys, some great blast beats coming in. I really, the touch of black metal comes in. The Valkyrie song, Valkyrian song, Zong. Oof, I butchered that one. Too many R's close together for me to get used to. I was starting to speak German again after so many years, but sometimes I read these and I go for it, and I'm like, that was a mistake. That's where we get the 2017 album creeping in. Uh, if you want the straightforward 3-minute rocker, "Blazing Sky." Oh, that "Blazing Sky" wouldn't be out of place even as a 3-minute song. It wouldn't be out of place on a Windhand album. Uh, if you know, I'm just her delivery, the flow of it, the punching beats, the heavy bass. I can't stop going back to that. The synth metal of "Like Humans," "Devil in the Detail." I cannot stop listening to this album. I will listen to. I will restart the same song 3 times, go to the next track, and then if I'm on YouTube, it'll go right back to the song I just listened to 2 or 3 times, and I don't care. I'm enjoying it. It's hard and heavy where it needs to be, but also very 80s, 90s pop driven as well. That it just, they're all earworms. A couple of tracks, you're not going to understand what she's going to say. That's what it is. But it's such a quick, enjoyable listen that, hey, I only paid $10. Uh, it's amazing. If this is the next path she's going to take, you know, I'm for it. And I like the folk album. I do. But I will gladly take, you know, a modern day Kate Bush meets meets Corthon or Dark Throne. I'm down with that. I won't go so far as to say Missing Persons, but I'm fine with this. I hope she does more like it. Yeah, and if she chooses to go back to the early stuff, someone in one of the comments on YouTube, they wrote for the videos, Lana Del Wrath. If she chooses to do that, okay, fine. But for what it's worth, Spine, incredible album. It will not leave your head. It just hooks its way in there like one of those damn con earworms from Star Trek 2. Here we go with the Star Trek reference. Okay, well, excuse me while I nerd out. Ah, whatever. Okay, we've had AC/DC references. We've had Joni Mitchell, Leonard Cohen, and now we're getting missing persons in Madonna. He, whatever. Judge me all you like. I can't help but notice all the little dots and how they align. It is what it is. I'll wrap it there. Tomorrow morning, I'll do my friggin' Deep Purple top 10 opening tracks with probably 2 honorable mentions. I got to cheat a little bit. You know how it goes. So, take care. See everybody tomorrow. Good night. We're still in hell, aren't we?